Hey everybody, welcome back to Magic Orthodoxy. My name is David, and this is a magic book review. Hey, today we're going to look at a reprinted book. This is a book from magic history, and Vanishing Incorporated, Andi Gladwin have taken this book and reprinted it, made it available to everyone. This is The Card Magic of Edward G. Brown from Trevor Hall. All right, so if you don't know who Edward G. Brown is, I'm not surprised. He lived from 1893 to 1947. He was an English magician who at the time was pretty much one of the best card magicians around. However, he was a member of the Magic Circle, and that was pretty much where his fame stayed. He was a hobby magician who basically was only known by other magicians. But that's not to say he didn't have influence. They say that Brown's magic inspired all sorts of magicians, from Di Vernon to Larry Jennings, Alex Elmsley, and it was this raw talent that inspired Paul Gordon and Trevor Hall to write a book about him. Because even though the book is called The Card Magic of Edward G. Brown, he never wrote anything. He did some lectures, he wrote letters of correspondence back and forth, and that's kind of how this book was assembled. He always wanted to write something, but he actually died at the age of 54 before he ever had a chance. And so 2 books were later published posthumously about his life. One book more recently released in 2005, which was Edward G. Brown, A Magical Life. That was a book by Paul Gordon. And then there was the 1973 book, The Card Magic of Edward G. Brown by Trevor Hall. And this is the book that Andi Gladwin has republished. So that first book was actually a very limited run of only 500 copies. And so as you can imagine, it was a very limited release. And if you can still find one of those books either at a used bookstore or out on eBay, they typically go for about $350. Andi Gladwin got a copy of one of those books. He studied it for about a year and then just felt, you know what? I want to re-release this and make it more available to the magic community. So let's say you purchase it, you order it, it comes to you in the mail. What are you going to get? You get this hard-shelled, closed lid box that's kind of velvet lined. There's even like a little book pull ribbon on the inside so that you can get your books out. You'll get the main book, of course. The main book's roughly 190 pages, hardbound, beautiful paper, should last you forever. But then you're also going to get something special. You're going to get a 30-page booklet or a leaflet of all of Andi Gladwin's notes that he took while he was reading. And so basically, it's a nice abridged way of reading the older text, but then you have Andi Gladwin sitting right next to you, kind of explaining some of the things. So as far as what the book is itself, there's a lot of preface work at the beginning from the different editors and publishers that have come before, and they're kind of explaining the volume, giving you some backstory about Edward Brown's life. And then the middle bulk of the book is about 19 tricks, and within those 19 tricks there are several different sleights and moves that are explained. I'll post a link to the Conjuring archive below so that you can see all the tricks and who they were inspired from and like what technical moves go with each trick. After that, there's about 6 transcribed lectures that Edward G. Brown gave. As far as the skill level and what the content of everything is, it's really all over the place. There's some really nice parlor effects, and then there's, you know, close-up tricks, and then there's self-working card tricks, and then there's some serious knuckle busters. So how does it read? What's the reading style? It's very flat. I found this to be a very laborious reading. Like, I enjoy reading magic books. I'll take a magic book with me on vacation, even. Like, I'll have a magic book by my bedside always, and I'll just pick up a book and read it. I don't even need a deck in hand. I like to just imagine the trick and listen to the author speak to me. So I read magic books for fun. And I know I don't do magic book reviews very often, but it's only because magic books take so much longer to get through most of the time before it's appropriate to even sort of tell you what's inside. I would do the book a discredit if I did a review for it and then hadn't read it. This book, I understood, like, it's a classic of magic. Edward Brown is this forgotten magician who apparently, you know, inspired many people who were in the magic circle, and it's a privilege to be able to read something that was published so long ago that was so rare, but it was just so hard to get into it. I tried over and over and over again to get through pages, and it's funny because Trevor Hall, who wrote the original book, he talks about how Edward Brown's words are very unique and that not everybody even speaks like him, and he calls them Brownisms. And he said, you know, I didn't feel like I should paraphrase and rewrite Brown's original words because I wanted you to hear it in his own voice. And I respect that, I get that, but to us now living in 2019, those Brownisms are really hard to get through, especially when there's so many other books and videos and things like that now that we're all used to. I think the things that we are used to in books have now spoiled us for the classics. And so even people who have read, Expert at the Card Table like I have, it reads like you're studying the King James Bible. Like, this book feels like homework, it didn't feel like fun. And I think the other aspect that contributes to this is the complete lack of drawings, diagrams, and photographs. Like, I'll spin through the book here really quickly just to show you what it looks like. There's maybe 20 pictures in this entire book, and most tricks don't have any pictures. Some tricks are even reduced to only 2 pages. So we have 2 pages of hard to read text and there's no pictures. It's very difficult to struggle through this book to understand the tricks, especially when some of these tricks are hard, right? So I found myself going back to Andi Gladwin's notes a lot, hoping Andi would shed some light on what I was reading. I think the positives are that I think if you're previously aware of this book's existence, and if you're a member of the Magic Circle, if you own a lot of these gems from history and you want to add this book to your collection, that's a good reason to buy this. I think if you enjoy magic history and you want to learn about a magician who should not get lost to the obscurity of time, then you should get this. I think the negatives to this book are the price tag of $60, which is totally worth it, by the way, totally worth it. But I just think the fact that it's $60 and the obscurity of the subject matter kind of keep this book still in that circle of people who are either collectors or just really serious card magicians. Well, that's everything I can say about the card magic of Edward G. Brown. Of course, I want to thank Andi Gladwin, Vanishing Incorporated, Murphy's Magic for allowing me to have this so that I could do this review for you. And if you'd like to purchase it for yourself, you can find it wherever quality Murphy's Magic products are sold. Thank you guys. I'll see you next time. Bye.